Europe's coalition of the willing plan for Ukraine is already unraveling. September 6, 2025. Europe's coalition of the willing summit on September 4 struggled to gain Washington support for its proposed plan to end Russia's war in Ukraine, and doubts remain over whether or not it can be implemented, European and Ukrainian officials have told the Kiev Independent. After the Paris summit, French President Emmanuel Macron said that 26 countries are ready to send troops or contribute to other support as part of guarantees, but only after a ceasefire. Macron also said that if Russia failed to adhere to a peace process, both Europe and the US would impose further sanctions on Russia. But despite Macron's attempts to present Europe as a united front with the US, there are several signs that this is not the case. European leaders held calls with Donald Trump after the summit, during which, according to Axios, the US president berated them for funding the war through purchases of Russian oil. Despite more than 3 years of war, Europe has still to wean itself off the Russian oil and gas. According to 2 European officials familiar with the talks who spoke to the Kiev Independent, the call did not go well, though they declined to provide further details. As for Macron's claim that the US would impose further sanctions on Russia if it does not stop fighting, serious doubts remain in European capitals as well as in Ukraine. It is still too early to make this assessment that Trump will refuse to impose sanctions, but it is possible given the past developments, a senior European official told the Kiev Independent on condition of anonymity. Trump has had 8 months to impose sanctions on Russia and, despite repeated threats, has declined every opportunity to do so. It is difficult to say if Trump will impose sanctions because he is extremely unpredictable. No one knows what he will do tomorrow, the official added. Oleksandr Morezko, a top lawmaker from President Volodymyr Zelensky's party, told the Kiev Independent he has doubts over Trump's willingness to impose sanctions on Russia. But I still hope, even though my hope is diminishing, I still hope that our European allies will somehow manage to persuade Trump to finally impose those sanctions not only on Russia but also on its trade partners, he added. There are some positive signs. On September 5, European Council President Antonio Costa said a European team is heading to the US to work with our American friends on a new sanctions package. But overshadowing the entire European plan is the fact that Russia has said out loud and repeatedly that it has no intention or need to end its war against Ukraine, currently a necessary prerequisite for the security guarantees proposed by the coalition of the willing. Zelensky on September 5 insisted any security guarantees for Ukraine should be implemented before Russia stops fighting, an option that doesn't even appear to be on the tables for Europe at present. The first step to ending any war is a ceasefire, Zelensky said via video link at the Cernobbio Economic Forum in Italy. If pressure increases, not decreases, if there are security guarantees and sanctions, this will naturally push Russian President Vladimir Putin in the right direction. By Kiev Independent, story by Chris York, Alexandra Brzezowski, Dominic Culverwell, September 6, 2025.